Why hello there fellow peeps of the internet and welcome back to my channel, where first we hydrate and then we educate. Or in your case as the viewer, you could buy my merch, then hydrate, then educate. In today's video we shall be discussing 6 topics, all asked by the same person. I was tagged multiple times in their video on TikTok and they really want an answer to these questions. So let's get into it.
Part 3 of I'm 28 years old and I don't know the answers to any of these questions, so I'm asking a bunch of strangers on the internet. Edible vaccines, they're a thing when we're babies. Why did we stop? Why do we have to be in pain in order to not get polio?
Right, edible vaccines. They've been around since the 1990s. They were invented back in the 1990s by a chap named Charles something. I'll put it in editing here. Now there are a couple of good reasons why edible vaccines are still around and why we use them predominantly on children. Reason number 1, when was the last time you saw a child offer up their arm to the scary man with a massive needle? The answer is never. But a piece of candy or a sugar cube that tastes particularly weird, a child will immediately have that. So it's easy to administer. That's good. Secondly, it's bio-friendly, which means it's biodegradable. These sweets or lumps of sugar can be yeeted out of a window or be spat out and they don't harm the environment. Thirdly, and most importantly, they are cost effective. It costs almost nothing to create a vaccine and then to put it into a gummy piece of candy or a sugar cube. As opposed to a normal vaccine where you not only need to take into account the creation of the vaccine itself, the syringe it's in, the needle that's on it, and also the person administering it, because you can't just like stick the vaccine needle anywhere. Sometimes they need to go into an actual vein and need to have training, and so that's why they cost more. And but an edible vaccine, boom, done. But for us adults, pain is involved, or as I like to call it, being strategically stabbed and poisoned. But to help us.
Just wondering, can we bring back Latin? Like, not as a I would like to, but like just as a theoretical question. Like if an entire country's worth of people just decided to start speaking Latin again, would that make it a not dead language anymore?
Right. First we deponent quem educationem, which is Latin for first we hydrate, and then we educate. Hi, Editing Stuart here. What you heard wasn't hydration then education in Latin. What you heard was hydration than education. THAN, because my dyslexic ass spelled it wrong. I'm confused by this, fellow peeps of the internet, because Latin is in no way, shape or form a dead language. It's on life support, definitely, but it is not by no means or stretch of the imagination dead. Yes, people don't speak on a day-to-day basis, but Latin is one of the backbones of the English language, which I'm currently speaking. But also we still use Latin phrases and Latin words in day-to-day language. Here's a couple of examples. Have you ever heard the phrase carpe diem, which means seize the day? That is a Latin word that we use in day-to-day language. Or if you're a psychiatrist, you might have heard the words alter ego, which is a Latin word which means alternative self. Or my personal favourite, memento mori, which literally means remember that you have to die, which is made popular by the YouTubers Ethan Klein and Markiplier when they created a show Unus Annus, which is another Latin word for 1 year. In summary, yes, the Latin language isn't spoken fluently by any individual person. I mean, there are some, but they use it mostly to show off. But Latin is also, like I said, one of the backbones of the English language, because the English language is a mongrel language. It has no decisive root.
Where does the jellyfish food go? They don't have stomachs, they don't have muscles, they don't have blood, they don't have brains.
Now see here. Whilst a jellyfish doesn't have any distinctive mouth, esophagus, stomach, or anything like that, it does have all of them in one organ, which is essentially a fleshy mouth. Essentially, when a jellyfish captures prey, it brings it up to the main bulbous part of the body, and in the centre, a lot like an octopus, there is a central mouth. Unlike an octopus, there is no beak, there is no mandibles to chomp down on food. Essentially, the prey is sort of dissolved at the opening of this orifice, and then when the bits of fish float into the orifice, it closes, and then inside that orifice it is broken down and distributed, and nutrients is absorbed into the main jellyfish, and then specific cells distribute that nutrients around the jellyfish. A lot like us humans and how we metabolize oxygen. We have specific cells, blood cells, red blood cells, that distribute oxygen around our body. Now imagine that system, but in a jellyfish.
What makes voices sound different? Why does everybody have their own individual voice? I realize that the length of our vocal cords makes our voices higher or lower pitch, but why does my voice not sound the same as someone whose vocal cords are the same length as mine?
Why do our voices sound different? First we vibrate and that where we agitate. So, why do I sound like me and you not sound like me but sound like yourself? A majority of people will say it's just to do with the vocal cords. In actuality, it's to do with a plethora of different things. Yes, the size, shape, and tensile strength of your vocal cords does come into play, but also the size and shape of your body, the gender that you were born as. You know, female Homo sapiens or women have a tendency to have a much higher pitched voice, whereas men or male Homo sapiens tend to have a more baritone voice. But also it's how you use the resonating chambers of your own face, how you pronunciate your words. I say water, you say water. You know, those kind of differences give us an individual sound, a unique sound that we use to connect with one another with vocalizations. Words.
Where does the bruise go? Where does the blood go? If it gets absorbed, where does it get absorbed to? It's dead blood. That's the point. Like, it's an internal. You're hemorrhaging. It's an internal bleeding thing.
Now, a bruise is just hemorrhaged blood just underneath the skin, and what our body does with it is essentially it recycles it. You see, the blood is reabsorbed into the body and sent down our blood vessels and arteries and so on and so forth to our kidneys, where our kidneys are the filter of the human body, and it filters out all the dead or damaged blood cells, which are simply discarded in our pee and in our poop, and then our bone marrow just grows more blood cells, replenishing the ones that we have been damaged. So in essence, what happens to a bruise? It gets recycled.
What is the speed of pain? Simple. Is it the speed of light? That's insane.
What is the speed of pain? 4 is the speed of pain. 4 miles an hour. That's it. But also the speed of pain usually depends on the severity of the injury and also the unique bioelectrical signals of the individual. So some people can have a faster pain reaction and some people can have a slower pain reaction. Also, as you grow older, your pain reaction time becomes slower as well. So one day you'll be able to go, ow! And there we have it, fellow peeps of the internet. You have reached the end of the video. Huzzah and harumph! Give yourself a pat on the back and have some bunting and Battenberg cake. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe on your way out. But anyway, my name has been AWR Stuart. You have been whoever the hell you are, and I shall see you in the next video. Also, buy my merch. Thank you, please.